Revenue is the lifeblood of every successful business. Without it, your business will eventually cease to exist. On today's episode of Guaranteed to Grow, I've got a very special guest joining me to shed some light on the fundamentals of building your first sales organization. This is a guy that is a great friend of mine, someone that I've known for over 20 years, someone that has worked with me closely within my business as the VP of Sales, and who also, as part of a entrepreneurial spirit, has stepped out on his own. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Patrick Micklewright onto the show.
Thanks for having me, Pat. Good to see you.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy day to come on here and shed some light on these topics.
No problem. I love to do it. I love talking business. You've known me for a long time, like you said, and one thing that is hard to get me to stop talking about is business. So I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. So let's kind of dive right in. And if you would, just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey in software as a service, from starting out as an entry-level VSB account executive, working with BombBomb, to eventually transitioning to the VP of Sales here at SaaS Partners, and then stepping out on your own as a SaaS founder and the CEO of the product that you launched, which is LinkBridge.
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey. It's been about a 5-year journey for me. Was living in Nashville, Tennessee. I just got married and had an insurance agency and was the insurance guy. So every time someone saw me, they'd turn around and start running. So it was a good business, but I got tired of doing that and being that guy. No offense to any insurance agents out there, but I think that's a tongue-in-cheek joke that everybody gets that's in that industry. But yeah, so I had a recruiter just start looking out for me because I had a couple of friends that were in the SaaS industry, and they always, were always telling me about the new products they had, and everything I was working with was the same every day. So I've always been an entrepreneur, at heart, and got an offer for an entry-level position at BombBomb, which is a video email marketing company in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And my wife was crazy enough to, oblige and move to Colorado with me. We had a 1-year-old daughter at the time, and so I started. I just wanted to get a foot in the door. That's kind of how I've been my whole life. Just give me a chance at it, and I'll succeed. So, got my foot in the door as a VSB. It was super cool. Some of my favorite sales time I've ever had is when I was making the least amount of money in the beginning. It was like a sales floor, like a stock trader sales floor, stand up desks, high energy. Yeah. We had every time you made a sale, it was up on a big screen. So. Got in at the ground level, just started, every meeting I went in, I'd be taking notes, learning from the marketing team, learning from the CEO when he talked and stuff like that. So I really just wanted to learn the business, and BombBomb gave me the opportunity to do that. Got promoted several times, champion of the year, salesman of the year, on President's Club and stuff like that. It was fun to me. I was just doing Zoom meetings, talking to people, and we were selling a product that could help them. So, learned the whole business during that part, really, every aspect of it. Gave my input, sometimes when it wasn't asked in certain aspects of the business, because I was used to running my own business. But learned inside out of the SaaS model itself and the sales process there at BombBomb. So, and then as I was having success there, obviously, you and I met up at a dinner in Denver one night for, I think it was your brother's bachelor party. You just happened to be in town, from Nashville, and we just started talking. And I don't think you even knew that I was in the SaaS, or any software sales at all, because we had not talked for a couple of years. So, yeah. Once you hired me as VP of Sales, my vision went elsewhere. Obviously, we were building out sales organizations for several different companies together. But watching you do what you do. And me obviously being an entrepreneur at heart, I was like, looking for other ways that we could, make ventures and help people and make money at the same time. So it's really just a progression of learning the industry, and until I felt comfortable enough to, tell one of my best friends, yes, you can trust me with your business on the sales side. Obviously, thank you for that. But things are going great. And now that we just launched LinkBridge, it's like starting all over again for me. So I'm doing demos. I'm, basically the one employee as we get started up here. So having a lot of fun with that. But yeah, so it's been a quick journey, 4 or 5 years, but I feel like I've learned a lot and have a great grasp on the SaaS industry now.
Awesome. And that's something that I absolutely love and admire about your journey is that you literally started in the trenches. So you can always say you started from the bottom, now you're here, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
that makes for a great story. And I know there's a lot of insight that I could probably extract around what it takes to actually climb the ladder, what skills, what training, what things were especially helpful in you in terms of developing your skills and then obviously your professional development. But I do know Bomb very well. Obviously, I was a customer there. And you actually sold it to me, and it was something that was pretty incredible. It's a video marketing platform for anyone that doesn't know. But can you just talk for just a second for anyone that doesn't know about that product and what exactly it is and the impact that it made in the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So they basically built a video technology. I mean, they built it. It was out. You could send a video email before the first iPhone was out. So, it's been around. The technology's been around for a little while. Obviously, it's gotten better, but yeah, they basically, everybody in business is inundated with whether it's LinkedIn or emails. These mass emails that go out to people trying to sell stuff. It's 2 paragraphs and somebody's signature line doesn't tell you anything about them. And so, I mean, they basically, back in the day, everything was face to face. It's one of those genius ideas that's the most simple idea ever. It's like if you can get your face in front of more people, you usually can build trust faster, show them a little bit about yourself, connect with them. And so instead of sending these 2 paragraph emails, they said, why can't we just send them a video? And so they made that happen. They had great tracking with it, where if someone opened your email, you would know. If someone played your video, you'd know. So obviously, from a sales perspective, if it's the end of the quarter and you're short of your quota and you get a notification that one of your deals in the pipeline watched your video twice, it's good to know that, right? So that's just one example. And they have automation as well. So, always, you don't want to automate too much, but you can put some automation together with the videos. It's just not as spammy. It's a real person you seeing. It's different from what you see every day. So it's a great product.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about it. I mean, obviously, I'm a big tech and data guy, so all the metrics and reporting and tracking behind it, just made me feel a certain way. But the personalization, right, and the reach, being able to stand out from the crowd, and great things that they did there to kind of differentiate their product and innovate within that industry.
Yeah.
You mentioned something earlier in talking a little bit about your your background. And then obviously transition now being the only salesperson right now for LinkBridge, which you're currently building. And obviously,
and
I'm
customer service and
wearing all the hats. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right. Got to love entrepreneurship. I always tell people that it's not for everybody, but it really does take a certain type of individual to endure and persevere in order to find success. But you mentioned something, as you were kind of giving a little bit about your background, and obviously, I'm a big fan of founder-led sales, especially in the early days, which is where you are now. I think it's just absolutely critical for founders to be close to the sales process, especially in the beginning, so that you can just get that firsthand feedback from your prospective customers. So, is that the same approach that you had in mind when you started out, or is that something that, due to lack of funding that you did, or for anyone that is looking at starting a business, is that the recommendation that you make?
I really do. And we could throw money at this business and get it started faster and hire people right away. We know we have a viable product. So, some people might look at it that way. Me personally, I think that the way that we're doing it right now, I'm doing it right now, is really a way to learn, your business first. And I can go into these Zoom meetings. They get on and they're like, "Oh, well, you're the CEO of the company. Why are you on this 15-minute Zoom meeting with me about a demo?" Right? And I'm just wide open and honest with people. We started a new business. We have a viable product. The product's legit. We have a great training program that goes with it. What else would you want in a company like this, right? And so I'm getting feedback, and I'm not like trying to sneak it out of people. I'm being upfront with them. Like, what better way to learn what people want than to just look them in their eyes and ask them, right?
Yeah.
And so, messages. If I had 2 salespeople getting those messages and send them to me, messages get diluted. I don't have to go back and watch hours of video like I used to do with looking at, training people on sales calls, stuff like that. Um, it brings me back to my roots, so it's fun to me. And no, obviously, from a cost perspective, I don't have to pay anybody any commission if I'm selling everything right now. It's beneficial, but I mean, that's not the reason why. If money was a problem and that was the only problem, we would go find some money and we put it in it and blow it up, right? Like we basically wanted to make sure that we validated our ICP. And so instead of guessing, I'm on every one of those demos. And then with our new clients, we have, regular meetings every 2 weeks. I give them my calendar, which, pretty soon it's going to have to stop and we're going to have to hire some people for that because I don't have enough hours in the day. But, you can validate your ICP by just asking people face to face and not trying to be sit around a boardroom and say, I know more than everybody. I think it's this. I think it's that. I can just, come to the table with my founders as well and say, this is what people are saying. This is what we need to do with our product, or this is what marketing needs to do this. Right. So, like I said, I like to keep things simple. It's not like rocket science. I'm not too, proud to get on a demo and be, like some people might lose a lot of information. And I've experienced that with organizations I've worked with where the CEOs and CFOs and all that, like they're too good to do stuff like that, right? They have more important things to do. When in reality, in my mind, I'm thinking I need to be in the trenches and talking to customers. We can figure the other stuff out because most of the other stuff is technical stuff, right? Like business functions, stuff like that. So, I mean, I will always, I don't care if we grow to 100 million a year, I'm going to pop in on demos. I'm going to ask customers regularly and make sure that I'm communicating with the people that our product is reaching out to.
And I think that's so important. And you touched on a couple things in there that I think are such valuable leadership lessons too. You talk about the authenticity of the way that you have those conversations, and the way that you're actually reaching out to those founders and holding those demos or those prospective customers rather, and just being honest and transparent. I think there's a lot that can be said around the authenticity, and I think that's something that bleeds through and makes people be more willing to work with you just because of the level of trust that you're able to build from the very, very beginning. So that's great. You touched on something else as well that I've got to ask this question around ICPs, the ideal customer profiles. And, a lot of people listening may be saying, hold on a second, ICP definition is really a function of marketing. What are your thoughts around that and the amount of involvement that the sales team or the sales leaders should have regarding that process?
Man, it's one of my it's the eighth wonder of the world for me is why every organization seems like marketing hates sales and sales hates marketing. It's just counterproductive. I mean, you and I have had discussions about this. Like, I don't even know why there can't just be one department. Right. It just comes down. It's almost like it's been that way for so long that if you're in marketing, you have to hate the people that are in sales, and if you're in sales, you have to. But it's negative for the business. It doesn't get anything accomplished. Like I said, it seems like every organization I've worked for has fallen victim to that. Yeah. And looking from the sidelines, I know it's costing that business money. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Communication is key in any relationship. So if there's any of that animosity or anything like that, you're not really going to be thinking about the things you need. You're going to be thinking about like defending yourself instead of how are we going to make this problem fix this problem, or, what's our next move here with marketing. I think sales and marketing, and we live by this in the companies, that we run, and there should be no separation. The communication should be wide open, and that's how I feel for sure. It just baffles me. I don't know if I even answered your initial question, but sales and marketing. If you are one of those people that are in that situation and you feel like you can't speak up, I would suggest you speaking up. I remember being an entry level salesperson, and I knew several things that could change the business because I was on the front lines. I communicated that to upper management, to the marketing team, and it got ignored. Yeah. And that's why I love that I've been through that track, is because as a CEO or as the VP of sales, I not only did I learn a lot, growing in the SaaS industry, but I learned what not to do and what negatively affects businesses.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things, really.
Yeah. And I
And
think
it's something so simple too. It's like,
yeah.
why would you let that hold you back from making more earning more revenue? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
absolutely. And I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it has to be collaborative in nature. It has to be symbiotic. Breaking down those barriers to communication is extremely essential, especially in growing and achieving scale within your business. So once you have nailed your ICP, what's the next step then? I mean, what are the next activities? What are the next actions? What do you do next?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in that stage now. So we basically have nailed down our ICP, and now we're looking at marketing, right? We look how we want to market it and how we want to build out our team, really. Um, and in a startup like LinkBridge, right now, it's really there's no formula out there, and so it's you got to be kind of work on your toes, be able to adjust, because like right now I'm doing the demos, but if we make a marketing decision next week and we get 500 leads, well, that's not going to be. I can't do 500 demos in a month, so or I can, but I don't want to. But I will. But yeah, so we're looking at building out a team, and that's something that is any advice that I would give to anybody out there that's building out a team or in that step right now is be patient. Don't interview 3 people and just get excited, because most of that excitement might be tied to the fact that your business is about to take off. You just want it to get going, right?
Yeah.
And I've made that mistake in the past as well. We're looking at building our team. We're looking at do we need SDR or BDR? How many sales associates we're going to need? And like I said, in a startup, it's going to be it might be on Wednesday of next week we get this many leads, and I say, okay, we need to hire somebody for the next 2 weeks, and that's where it gets tricky. So stick to your guns on the being patient thing. It's better to lose a couple clients that you might have gotten rather than to spend 6 figures on a new hire that's not going to work out in 6 months. So I'm sure anybody that knows me is listening to this, me saying be patient. They're probably saying like, is that really what Patrick's saying right now? Because that's like totally against my normal mindset. But it's hard to do. But yeah, we're building out a sales team, being patient, look at the data really, and not just listen to the customers, but act on what they say.
Sure.
Just because you have all this great information, if you don't do anything with it, it doesn't matter.
And as you're interviewing those, potential employees, I mean, what are you looking for? I mean, what are kind of the traits that you're looking for, especially as you're lean and you're kind of nascent as a company and hungry? Are you looking for people to kind of match that energy or specific skill sets?
Yeah, I mean, they have to have a college degree. They have to dress. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, really, I'm looking for hustlers. I'm looking for people that have drive. I want people that want to be a part of a team, want to be a part of something special. I grew up playing sports my whole life, and I'm a great motivator. I feel like I just need people to want to motivate themselves as well. And if we work together, we can get great things happening. Mm-hmm. I'm not really. I'm probably the opposite of what recruiters will be looking for. I'm more of a, gut feeling. And I'm not saying that this is like advice for people, but I mean, I would say trust your gut on people. You can have someone that's highly qualified and, Harvard grad, stuff like that, and somebody that's not. Trust your gut if you think the person's going to work out, or if someone's going to work hard for you and be trustworthy and stuff like that. So I'm not looking at the normal data that most people would. I'm more outside the box when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I'm looking for people that are motivated, hustlers. They can have some sales experience, but I mean, if they're hard workers, we can motivate you. We can teach you what you need to do. Just looking for team players, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's so important is people that understand the vision and are willing to help be part of something meaningful.
Yep.
I think you absolutely nailed that right on the head. My thoughts are the same. What, once you've started onboarding, all of those new hires, how do you look at setting the initial performance goals, for the individuals and for the teams, especially when your product is just starting out? Because obviously there's a lot of unknowns with a startup. And then how do you kind of structure your compensation plan just to make sure that you're attracting the right types of talent or the right people?
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on rewards, for hard work, for closing deals. Um, what was the first part of the question? As I'm onboarding them, I mean, really, we're just trying to motivate and educate our employees, so that if any question comes up, they can answer it with confidence.
Sure.
And for the second part, I'm sorry, what was the second part again?
Yeah. So as far as setting goals, so you bring people on
Oh
board.
yeah, so you
Yeah.
go. Sorry. So I mean, like I said, anybody listening, this is a startup, so this isn't the most to the book stuff. But right now, I mean, what I do to motivate the two people that are that they're working for us already that could possibly be with us full time is we just want to improve every week. And so, I know eventually it's going to run out. Like, I've been a part of organizations that, your commission every time you crush your commission, it gets jumped. Your goals get jumped, and then pretty soon it's like unattainable. But we're just looking at improvement, right? Same thing. I do a lot of sports references. If you're the same this week, and I watch your video, and you haven't, picked up on any of the things we've said to improve on, um, you know, that's an issue, right? I'm not asking you to be the best salesperson in the world and sell a million subscriptions in your first week. But hey, let's in the second week, let's be better than the first week. In the third week, let's improve. And then after about 6 months, we look at the numbers and we say, okay, we did this many numbers. We did this revenue in 6 months. You are starting out. You're brand new. You're way better. Look at the video. Look at the proof. Motivate them on that, and then come up with a number to improve on the 6 month plan. So they're kind of looking big picture, small picture. As far as compensation, that's something we want to be very open about. Once again, learning from other past experiences where I get my commission check and I'm like, I don't think that's right. Like that's the word, as a salesperson, that's like the worst thing that could ever happen to you. And you automatically lose trust in the organization, and people are there leading you if they can't even pay you correctly. So we like to be wide open and tell them exactly what they're going to make in the beginning. But one thing that I do is, unannounced, like surprise gifts for my salespeople. Like, if you're doing, even if they're doing, sometimes it's because they're struggling a little bit, right?
Sure.
Maybe it's like a $500 bonus, just saying, hey, look, you've been working real hard. Keep it up, keep them motivated. Or if obviously they're crushing it, we like to, you and I, we love doing the Dom Perignon,
Love it.
random Dom Perignon bottle with some $100 bills in it.
Love it.
Little things like that. And I like to do them often. So, it's when you and I both running companies, and it's sometimes, you run out of time to do the little things, let people know that they're appreciated. I try to make sure that that's at least once a month that I tell everybody on the team, and whether it's verbally or they're sending them a gift or something like that. Because we're grateful for these people that are, basically spending their time and helping us build these businesses. And we don't just say that. I want to make sure that they feel that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's very important. And like I said before, I mean, I don't care if we grow to 100 million, I'm going to know, and that's like the old school, mindset too, where like they would know everybody's name, their children's name. Like I feel like that doesn't exist anymore.
We do it.
In these large organizations. So that's kind of like how I like to operate with, it's basically a family when you're working for us. And we don't just say that, we really mean it. And we show that, and our employees know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I know the names of all my employees and most their kids and spouses and everything else. And I think you're right. I think that's such an important aspect of being a good leader, is just taking the time to care and to actually know who your employees are, right? Who are the people that are building your company, and what do they value? That way you can get the most out of it.
And on that same point, I mean, I've been through a million sales trainings, and it's like, you got to want to help your customer, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, don't sell somebody a product they don't need just because you're a good salesperson, right? Like, you really have to live that. I live that on the sales side as well. You don't just want to help people; you have to genuinely want to help them. And it really makes it easy. I mean, I just tell this to all our salespeople. It makes it easy when you get on a Zoom meeting and you're going to sell them a product that can change their business or change, help them get more sales. If you genuinely are on that meeting just to make sure that they do better, you can throw all the other stuff out the window, right? The product's good, anything like that. It's like you don't have to be a salesman at that point. it's like, how can I help you? Let me show you how this can help you. And not just going through the words that you learn on sales training, but actually feeling it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like being genuine about helping people. Sales becomes very easy when you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just internalizing it and shifting from the role of salesperson to hero in a lot of cases, right? Or advocate or consultant for their business. And I think you're right. I think
Right.
people see right through the sleazy salesman, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think it's refreshing when they come in contact with people that do have that attitude and kind of that outlook or perspective on just being able to serve.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned a couple times throughout the interview earlier, but tell me a little bit about LinkBridge and kind of the journey there. Who are the customers, and then what's the benefit that they're getting from your product?
Yeah, so LinkBridge, there's a lot of companies out there that help you with your LinkedIn. As soon as I had the VP of sales, when I changed from BombBomb and you hired me as VP of sales, I got 10 automated messages on LinkedIn every day. Sometimes there was like misspell, it's like the wrong first name, stuff like that. So there's a lot of automated systems out there. Everybody knows it. It's no surprise. So we basically have a great software that automates all that everybody knows that stuff exists. But what we also combine it with is real life training and profile optimization, right? So we want to make sure that your profile with the algorithm LinkedIn, people are going to see you more. Your posts are going to go up more. People are going to see you on other people's posts. And so we basically get your profile right. And then we train you how to not be that person that just puts the software on LinkedIn, pushes start, and lets it spam people,
Yeah,
right? Anybody can do that, so it's not really hard to stand out. By doing something a little bit different. It comes back to me being in entry level sales. I was on LinkedIn 3 or 4 hours a day when I was working for BombBomb, prospecting. I was typing everything out. I was sending the connection requests. I know I spent a lot of time doing that, and so did our SDRs and BDRs. So the technology side gives you hours in the day back. The training side shows you how to not just use it and get lazy and not be personal. We add the video aspect to it. With the automation, we teach you, everybody knows it's pretty automated. So instead of trying to trick people, how about just be open about it? It still allows you to touch 500 people today rather than, you don't have that time on your clock. So it allows you to expand your productivity extensively, but in the right way. And so, we're seeing amazing results from the training we've done with people, for a lot of clients right now that are, unfortunately having to cut a lot of costs and, basically cut employees, with the LinkBridge software. Even we have a fully managed system where, instead of having 5 BDRs or SDRs, you can buy LinkBridge. We can run it for you, and we can send those meetings to your calendars instead of having to pay 5 people a salary. We're not going in and saying, "Hey, fire these people and use this." But for people that are running low on cash, still have to get leads right now. There's a recession in the midst of things. There's a bunch of, especially in SaaS, a lot of layoffs going on. It's just an alternative, to maybe get them by during some tough times. For the individual or entrepreneur, it really allows you to multiply yourself and your outreach and your message. Saves you time where you can concentrate on the deals that are already in your pipeline, nourish them, baby them a little bit more because you're not having to spend 2 hours reaching out to try to find new business. Really cool, and you can also it's important to post on LinkedIn, but I'm sure everybody that's watching this has had those times where like, oh, I haven't posted on LinkedIn this week, right? You can also schedule your posting on LinkedIn. And one of the cost beneficial things is a lot of the automated systems out there. You have to have LinkedIn Premium or some form of paid LinkedIn. We wanted to make sure that our software could work with the free LinkedIn. So if you're a business that only has 3 employees and you don't have $99 to pay to LinkedIn plus what it costs for LinkBridge, you can have just the free basic LinkedIn, connect our software, and it really just gives you like an engine, a revenue driving engine that's saving you time and helping you get the word out or get your logo out as well.
Absolutely. And I absolutely love LinkedIn because I think in the beginning, people didn't really know how to use it or what's the benefit. At first, it was just, okay, here's another social platform that, maybe I've got to keep up with, but it's really evolved. And I think, some of the foundational reasons for that is there's never been another platform that you can target people so specifically, right? In terms
Yeah.
of business. So before, you had a lot of guesswork around who the buyer personas were at these different companies. And now you're able to go through and look at them by title. You're able to see the size of the company based on the employee headcount. You're able to deduce a lot of other information, kind of based on what's available on LinkedIn. So you can get hyper targeted in terms of your search and your outreach and then sending those sequences. One of the things I do hate, and I think this is something that you do really well, and I think this is why the training aspect of how to use the tool is so important, right, is I get so bogged down with a lot of the automated messages, and they're all the same, right? I hate it when people come straight at me with a cold offer. I understand that there's people that they're just focused on people that are high intent buyers, right? And that somebody with high intent sees that and they're already looking for a solution, then sure, it works. But I think what's valuable about the way that you teach people to use the software is it's more of a natural conversation starter, right? The goal is to get a response and actually quickly build a relationship. And what you end up being able to accomplish is building relationships at scale, right? And then you're able to take kind of your background and personality, and you touched on this a lot earlier, of actually trying to determine if there is a need before you hit them with the offer. And the people that I think do that, which I rarely see, those are the ones that immediately catch my eye. The people that are just genuine and authentic in their outreach versus, here's a message from 18 people all saying, buy my product, buy my product, buy my product, right? And so can you give us any kind of tips or tricks, whether or not they're using LinkBridge just on LinkedIn in terms of how to get better connection and response rates out of your campaigns?
Yeah, for $29.99 a month, I can give you all that information. Yeah, I mean, it sounds funny, but I was just keep it real. I mean, the easiest way to stand out is just be yourself and keep it real, and that's sad, but I always say, like, I get like you said, I get a good email, marketing or sales email every once in a while, and I go, why can't they all just be like this? Because and I look at every email because I don't want to miss something. I always think I don't if someone has something to offer, I want to at least look at it, right? But the ones that people are keeping. I had one I think last month that said, Patrick, we talked 6 months ago. Not gonna lie, it's the end of the quarter, and I haven't met quota yet. And I said, schedule 15 minutes on my calendar. Let's talk. Like it was obviously a product that we had some interest in. But I'm going to respond to that, which is like some people are like, oh, that's not professional. Like, I don't want it to be professional. I want it to be real. And so that's my best advice. Consistency as well on LinkedIn. It's hard. I just touched on that to remember. I set a reminder on my calendar every day, post on LinkedIn. So it bugs me until I do. Obviously, if you have a technology like LinkBridge, you can, get in at the beginning of the month and schedule them all.
Get rid of that reminder on your calendar.
Yeah, no, I can't
That's
forget.
right.
So, consistency and just keeping it real, and that's the thing. Like I said, I like to keep it simple, and it's worked for us. And when people reach out to me in that way, I'm more apt to respond as well.
I think that's some great advice for anyone listening. Hopefully, they caught it.
Oh, and no politics, no anything like that. I feel like LinkedIn's been like overrun by that. I'll tell you now, like I've talked to, I'm in a couple networking groups and a couple mastermind groups with CEOs, CFOs, and like we don't like nobody cares what your opinion is. Like we're not going to pick one side or other. Like on LinkedIn, if we see all that kind of mess going on, it's like it just throws up some red flags as far as what are you really focused on? Are you focused on business, or are you focused on just arguing with people and stuff like that? So I would try to stay away from that as much as possible. Stay consistent.
Good advice.
And
Good
yourself.
advice. You never know who's on the other end of the hiring calls and what their thoughts are. But if you put out there what you're thinking, then you could lose a lot of opportunities. as we're kind of wrapping up, any other pro tips or lessons that you learned the hard way that you can leave, our listeners with around, just starting to build that, their first sales team?
Yeah. Basically, hard work's undefeated, right? And so if you're building your sales team, you have to put extra hours in. It feels like you're just running in circles. If you're doing the right things and doing them consistently, it's always going to pay off. There's another trend that's going around where it's like, do you have a work-life balance? Well, not if you're starting a company and hiring a company. I think that's terrible advice. It's okay to be overrun with business and work, in my opinion, for a short period of time if you're trying to build something great. So, when it comes to that, I just say hard work and determination still works. Instead of trying to find the easiest way or the best new way to do it, get back to the roots of hard work, and that will always pay off. The chips always fall in your favor if you're working hard and doing the right things. And like I said in the beginning, like genuinely, not just saying it, I want to help you, but genuinely, everybody you look across the table and look in their eyes, like, how can I make this person's business better or life better with what
Absolutely.
we're talking about here?
I really appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much for joining today. Just before we go, for anyone that wants to connect with you or learn more about LinkBridge, what's the best way to get in touch? Where can they find you?
Yeah, you can reach me at mick@saaspartners.io. You can jump on getlinkbridge.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. Send me a quick message if you want to check it out. I'll just jump on a Zoom meeting with you and show you what it does. If anybody's listening to this and is interested, we'll go ahead and throw in a discount if you mention this podcast, because we're really just in the beginning stages, and the more users we get, the more data we have, and so we can, as we grow and grow and grow, we're looking at what works and what doesn't work, and so as we get more customers, we're able to narrow down and see what's actually working in the market. So the more data, the better. So we're a startup and willing to give you a discount if you want to check it out. But yeah, getlinkbridge.com or just you can hit me up on LinkedIn.
And for anyone out there that's listening that wants to check it out, Guaranteed to Grow is the promo code and get you a discount on the product so you can check it out. Thanks so much for taking the time again to join us today. Just as we wrap up, the 3 items that we really focused a lot on are building your first sales team, building repeatable processes, and understanding the value of authenticity within your business and the way that you interact with your clients. So as always, thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and share with other entrepreneurs that are working on building their business. Hopefully they'll get the same amount of value that they did. Until next week, see you later.